Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
What was the secret side deal on Ukraine? House Democrats and President Biden have said that as Speaker McCarthy was asking Republicans to vote for a continuing resolution so as to avoid having to take the Senate's plus up in Ukraine money, that the Speaker of the House was actually cutting a side deal to bring Ukraine legislation to this floor with President Biden and House Democrats. Mm-hmm. So let me get this straight.
Okay.
To extend Joe Biden's spending and Joe Biden's policy priorities, the Speaker of the House gave away to Joe Biden the money for Ukraine that Joe Biden wanted.
Joe Biden.
It is going to be difficult for my Republican friends to keep calling President Biden feeble while he continues to take Speaker McCarthy's lunch money in every negotiation.
So here's the thing with Matt Gaetz. Okay, he's smart, and he is without morals, without ethics, without loyalties to this nation. Obviously, Ukraine is a democratic country in the middle of Europe. The Allies have given more money to Ukraine than we have, but, he wants to paint a picture of a secret deal to fund Ukraine as being some sort of a dark, Joe Biden sort of a plot. It's the best investment America could make if you wanted to stay out of World War III. I mean, as you follow what's going on down, in Ukraine, you can see that Ukraine is just about to take back Crimea, that the entire Black Sea fleet has been decimated down there. And while it's difficult to get, true stories out of war-torn, active war zones, the information seems to be going Ukraine's way. Why would they want to pull the money out from under Ukraine just as they are taking back what Russia annexed in 2014? That Donald Trump refused to even acknowledge was stolen from a sovereign nation. Don't know. Don't know what that is. But you're damn right there would be a deal. Guys like Lindsey Graham wanted to make that deal. And you know what else that deal would actually include that every single Republican would want? Border money. You know why? Because we want border money too. Dirty little secret.
I like that in an attempt to mudsling at each other, the Republicans have once again inadvertently created another really good Biden campaign ad, taking the Republicans' lunch money, 2024.
I know. And Biden is actually trolling them with these ads. I think I have one of them somewhere in this, in this particular
beautiful
array of cuts. I'm sure I do somewhere. But anyway, Biden keeps taking their floor speeches and turning them into pro-Biden for president ads and airing them on debates on Fox, airing them in between, Greg Gutfeld show. And I mean, some of these shows, I have to tell you, I've been watching because I wanted to see what they were going to tell you about what's going on here. They hate Matt Gaetz, too, just so you know. But it's so interesting. It's just so fascinating. They will talk about anything at all, except for what's really going on here. I mean, they were talking about, oh, God, what was it? Oh, so you know the show The Bachelor? So now there's something called The Golden Bachelor, which is like a 72-year-old man looking for, a replacement wife after his beloved has passed away on him, and he wants love again, and so he's going to go on national TV and, be a bachelor. Anyway, they were talking about this ad nauseum. This is what they talk about on Fox News. Anything at all to not talk about news. It's almost unwatchable. I don't know how people do it. I really don't. I really do not understand. But then, I changed channels and I went to MSNBC. And I realized you must make a pit stop at CNN if you're leaving Fox. Just take my advice. Don't go straight from Fox to MSNBC. It'll be like Allison. It'll be like you took acid. You would be so disoriented because it's so much reality on MSNBC. It's like advanced democracy on that channel. I mean, really, it's not basic, it's not entry level, it's advanced. You have to know some stuff. You know, like you have to know how many members there are in the House. You have to know how many senators there are, you know, civics. You have to know that in order to. So go to CNN first and sort of dip your toe in there, because they'll talk about crap too. You know, like John Kelly is confirming that Donald Trump really, really disdains wounded warriors. You know, like, whoa. I'll alert the media. Wait, you are the media. What are you doing? I mean, file that under better late than never news. And they actually have it under breaking. Like breaking? Really, that's breaking. That is better late than never at best, okay? At worst, it's like, don't need to even know this. A 4-minute package, and I'm sitting there watching, go, all right, you know what this is good for? This is good for, you know, transitioning. This is a good go from Fox to CNN and transition there, because you'll see, you know, like John Kelly and, you know, whatever. But anyway, back to reality here. Okay, so right now the vote is 211 to remove Kevin McCarthy. You know what that means? 3 more yes votes, and he's out. He's gone. Kicked to the curb. 197 no's, and nobody's voting present. Now, why would you want to vote present? If you vote present, then you lower the threshold for a majority, right? Because you're not throwing your vote into once. Oh, 213, yes. One more, everybody, one more. We got it. Williams of Georgia. Oh! There you go. He's out. Kevin's out. So guess what? We have no Speaker of the House.
And when I asked you before the show, would the Republican voting base be even swayed or influenced by this type of chaos from the Republican Party, your answer depressed me. Your answer upset me, which is no, they're too busy being distracted by the dangly thing over here at Fox.
Well, Fox is covering it. Remember, after you asked me that, I said,
It's
you
true,
know
they
what?
are,
Turn Fox on and let's see if they're covering it. And they were. They were covering it. So people might actually.
This might move the needle in some way.
I mean, people, you know, who aren't to the right of Attila the Hun, okay, might actually be moved to say this is planned chaos, and I don't really appreciate it. They're threatening to shut down the government every 3 months now. We just got a 45-day reprieve, and yet we won't have a Speaker of the House. How does this help me? So, yes, some people might actually sit there and say, how does this help me? And they might come to the conclusion that it doesn't. And they might be frustrated that government, as much as they don't like it, as much as they may wish it away, they do need it. And they do need it to make sure that the lights stay on. And they do need it to make sure that maybe their son or daughter who's in the military gets their paycheck. And they do need it to make sure that the person who's, steering their plane, on the radar is actually getting paid and doesn't have the pressure of not being able to make their mortgage.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
That's why we're $33 trillion in debt, honestly. I mean, we pass these monstrosity omnibus bills, and then we check down to see, oh, there's the stuff I need, or there's the lobbyist I need degrees, and then we vote for the bill, and then there's, over 2,000 pages of Nancy Pelosi, we got to pass it to a know what's in it kind of stuff, and here we are. We said we were going to be different, and we're not.
There's Tim Burchett, everybody, from the great state of Tennessee, saying that when they get the bills passed, they look at the bills to see if they got their lobbyist who had fundraisers for them all, leading up to this vote, if they got their lobbyist's money, and if they got their district's pork, and then after that, nobody reads the bill. There it is. Okay, so why do I bring that up? Because Kevin McCarthy is no longer Speaker of the House. He's been removed by his own freaking majority. His own party has removed him. Votes 216 to 210, and that's stunning. He's out. So there is no Speaker of the House right now, which means no legislation can move, which means we're in the 44th day of trying to legislate, keeping the government funded. And I don't know how this is going to work. However, I would like to express to you two things right now, and you can jot them down and see if I'm right. First thing, Kevin McCarthy will not run for re-election. Kevin McCarthy does not want to be Speaker of the House. He does not want to be a backbencher. He does not want to be a whip. He does not want to be the deputy. He does not want to be a congressman from California. That is not why Kevin McCarthy signed up for this gig, okay? He did this because he wanted to be Speaker of the House. He became Speaker of the House, and his own freaking party removed him as Speaker of the House for the first time in the history of the United States. Do you know that? That's why I went over the Cannon story. In 1910, Congressman Cannon, a Republican, actually introduced the motion to vacate against himself so he could show that he still had the support of his caucus. It worked. He did. And he stayed. And then the only other time that this was even threatened was by Mark Meadows against Boner, who said, I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm going. And so it never happened either, but it has happened now. This is historical, and Kevin McCarthy is not going to stick around for it. He's out. He will not run for his seat. Maybe I move to Bakersfield. Isn't that where he's from? I think so. Okay, here's the other thing. This is hopeful. This isn't a prediction as much as it is a hopeful sentiment about what could possibly happen now. All right, because it's been such a ridiculous day, just ridiculous for our nation. And you think that we're the only ones watching this? Oh, man. If you don't think that Vlad is watching this and Vlad didn't see the Ukraine money come out of the government funding bill, if you don't see that cartels didn't see that there's no border money that was allocated to increase the amount of technology that we deploy at the border, I mean, if you don't see that the whole world is waiting for the United States to fall apart, then I don't know what to tell you, but most of us get that. Okay, so here's what I hope happens now. You should look to some of the moderate Republicans, some of the Republicans who ran in districts that are very swingy, districts that Joe Biden won in the last election, because even though they're swingy, when they voted for Biden in the last election, they were trying to say there is no way we're MAGA. There's no way that we think that what he stands for, or him telling people to punch each other in the face or inciting violence against our Capitol, is what our brand of Republicanism is. And so we're going to vote for a sane person, Joe Biden. So like a guy like Mike Lawler, okay? He's a Republican from one of those gerrymandered districts in New York, right? Remember, there were 4 districts that, were apportioned incorrectly. Now they have to go back and redo. But anyway, Lawler came from a swingy district, and he's a representative Republican from New York, okay? So maybe we actually have sort of a unity government right now, where we choose a guy that the Republicans would find amenable and could vote for because they still are their majority, right? Like a Lawler, like a Michael Lawler from New York. And then we have the group of sane Republicans reaching out to a group of sane Democrats who say, let's do this. Let's have a unity government. And if you want our vote, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to say no government shutdown. You're going to have to say the money for Ukraine is back. You're going to have to say we're ending this ridiculous impeachment inquiry because we have no crime. No one can find a crime. No one can find a misdemeanor. We can't even find evidence of Joe Biden jaywalking, okay? We don't have it. So we're going to end spending money on that. We're also going to agree that no subpoenas will be issued without some minority support. You need at least a Democrat to vote that there is a reason to apply for a subpoena. And forget about this one person can do a motion to vacate. We're going to change the rules of the House so that at least a majority of your majority, and you're Republican, we're trying to, get you to do this as the majority, has to agree that the next speaker has to be removed because this chaos has got to stop. This has all got to stop. We have to bring this MAGA frenzy, we have to break the freaking fever and show them that the minority isn't going to have this game to play ever again. That's what I would do. I'm just saying. But that's just me. I don't know that there are enough sane Republicans in the Republican Party, but I do know that there were only 11 that voted not to table. There were only 11 that really, really focused like a laser on McCarthy's back and really wanted to shoot him. They really, and so, listen, I don't think that this had anything to do with anything more than Matt Gaetz had a personal problem with McCarthy. He hated him so much. And he's just the kind of very smart, moral-less, I don't know how to say it, immoral, that's how you say it, immoral person. I mean, to look to Matt Gaetz for any sort of, ethics or dignity or integrity or God, look, no way. And the same with Kevin McCarthy. I mean, those are birds of a feather. Those are. You couldn't, it's good that, no Democrats voted to preserve McCarthy. You know why? Because you can't trust him. McCarthy's whole problem was he lied to everybody all the time. It's kind of like these are the people that think they're Trump, but they're not Trump. Okay. And Gaetz is the same bird. Okay. He's got the same feathers. They think that they can bullcrap their way through everything all the time and that they will never, ever be called out on their bullcrap. McCarthy thought it. He's wrong because there's always a Gaetz. There's always going to be a guy like that. And if it's not Gaetz, it's going to be Marge. And if it's not Marge, it'll be Lauren. And if it ain't Lauren, it'll be Biggs. And if it's not Biggs, they'll find another dude. They'll find another guy. It's you cannot break promises to people like this. You can't lie to their faces over and over again and expect that you will be protected. They played that game. And that man that did that and played that game to its fullest, he's going to prison. You know that, right? He's going to go to prison. He's going to write checks to the state of New York for defrauding them out of $250 million. When I listen to Lindsey Graham, I swear to God, it's just like, this is frightening.
We're not going to let New York get away with this. If you think Mar-a-Lago's worth 18...
How do you stop a judge?
He wins the primary.
Oh, my God.
He gets to be president again.
Oh, my God.
This judge is a joke. Who got defrauded?
Nobody. Everybody got.
Who's the victim?
The banks got paid.
Okay. The victim is New York taxpayers. The victim is federal taxpayers. The victim is anybody who didn't get the preferable interest rate that Trump got by lying about his worth. Okay. He got favorable treatment from insurance companies for mega coverages. I'm sitting here trying to keep my coverage in place because people stole, roof money to fix their roofs, right? But Donald Trump got treated with kid gloves from insurance companies, from banks. He got preferable interest rates, and he defrauded taxpayers who paid taxes, and he got away with $250 million in unpaid taxes by devaluing his properties for the purpose of taxation and increasing the value of his properties for the purpose of insurance coverage. Sorry, Lindsey, you got to fall in love with a different guy. You could come over, I'll cook for you, we could cuddle, and we'll find you a nice man. We'll find you someone. Can't be Trump. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.